Hi, it's Claire Ciancio. I'd like to go through my experience as a social entrepreneur. Okay, so basically, I started off my career as an entrepreneur straight out of university. I always had that idea and willingness to make things happen. And pretty much in my university days already working in IT, starting new websites for companies, marketing campaigns, so on and so forth. This wasn't always constant. So between I was an entrepreneur, I am an entrepreneur now, but in between I was an employee as well. And I tend backwards depending on how life evolves. And I think we need to make this clear that being an entrepreneur and being a social entrepreneur is a life choice. It's a way of living. It's an approach to wanting to make things happen and being more than just a person who fits within a job description. My outlook towards the world is that there are opportunities, there are challenges. Every challenge that this world faces can be an opportunity for people who solve that problem. And that is why, of course, I started off. So after working in IT, I was working in policy development. I studied political science and did a master's in entrepreneurship and was looking for opportunities, for ideas that would fit in with my core values. I didn't want to spend 8 hours a day in an administrative role or in a sales role doing things that do not leave an impact. I wanted to do something that is at least meaningful to me and meaningful to the immediate world around me, and of course grow to a larger scale. In fact, a friend had approached me a few years ago. This is how my journey as a social entrepreneur started. And he spoke about the problem of traffic, the problem of pollution, the problem of high car dependency. We live in an island. It's very small. It's practically, it takes you just half an hour to drive from one side of the country to the next, to the other edge. But even if Malta is so small, we have a lot of traffic, we have rush hours, and it can take you up to 1.5 hours to reach from one side to another, just because everyone is driving alone in their car, very dependent. And we started by wanting to do mentality shift. So the way that we approached, so we were passionate about the problem, we wanted to solve it. And we started by approaching it in addressing behavioral change. So we said, okay, so people love driving, people love their cars. It's like their second wife, honestly, having a car in Malta for most people. And we said, okay, so let's address that. And we started by encouraging people to carpool, because if you're already in a car, at least do not drive in a car alone, but be a number of people driving together from one location to another. And we started working on that. We started promoting other active methods of transport, such as walking, cycling, so on and so forth. But then by engaging with citizens, by working with pioneers, by being part of Climate Kick, because we got started thanks to Climate Kick, and there is where we found a lot of like-minded startups, a lot of energy, a lot of vibe and push in that direction that further reinforced my idea. Listen, if I'm going to do business, it has to be business with meaning, business which drives change. And we realized that it cannot just be about behavioral change, but it needs to also be about infrastructural change. So we need to work with the authorities, we need to work with data, we need to improve and understand what is the current scenario so as to improve future implementations. And this is how I found myself being a social entrepreneur within the technology sustainable mobility area, in addressing exactly the challenges of transport and helping alleviate the problem of congestion. I mean, life changes, life evolves. I started this venture in the form of a partnership with two good friends. These two good friends, their life evolved, their priorities changed, and they decided they were not ready to take the business to the next step. And I decided, in the meantime, obviously got passionate about the idea. I didn't want to quit. It was sat in my head that I wanted to do something meaningful in this area, and I persevered and opened a limited liability company. In Malta, there was no option as yet to start a social enterprise, but there is no limitation which says that a company cannot do good. Of course, a company can do good. The company can do good and prioritize doing good over profit, and that is exactly what and how I set up a company, and then tried it in the memorandum and articles, that the company is set there to bring about behavioral change and to provide products and solutions. We have evolved while working together in order to make this significant change in the area. And that's it, basically. Instead of working as an employee within a company, and it is possible to find what you're passionate about and to apply for a job and find your space within a job description. But in my case, I decided to write a business plan. I decided to, get a team and work with a group of people who are also just as passionate as me, and bring about the new technologies, the new solutions that we're providing as part of our solutions for Greenroads Limited. That's it in a nutshell. I wanted to perhaps also share a presentation, but it would have been a bit too long. But one thing that I'd like to mention is that as individuals, we need to look into the risks, into the challenges. We think about the past analysis, the political, the economical, the social, the technological, the legal, the environmental, the health issues that are out there, and how we as entrepreneurs can bring a team, a talent, a group of people together within an area, and of course the timing needs to be right, and bring about a product or service that solves a problem within this world. That's my input about and my experience from being a social entrepreneur, and I hope that this helps inspire some of you who have been an entrepreneur and want to be an entrepreneur, or are supporting entrepreneurs, or are in roles that can in some way impact social entrepreneurship and innovation within this area. Thank you.